Remind all of you we have our first quick quiz on Monday. All right, that will cover yesterday's topic and today. I think it's 2 questions, 6 points. All right, you get like 5-10 minutes tops to finish it, and then we move on to the notes. All right, so the first one's on Monday, covers today and yesterday's class, which is basically the delta math you're going to do after I'm done with notes today. Quick review of yesterday, just to make sure we're all good. If I had you draw an angle of 120, where does one side of your angle always lie? On the positive side of the x-axis. So as I draw this angle, my initial side, it's called, is always on that side of the x-axis. Now you got to tell me what quadrant is 120 in. What quadrant is 120 in? 12? 2. Now, I told you yesterday, you got to be in the ballpark, right? Is it closer to 90 or 180 in the second quadrant? Is it closer to 90 or 180? 6? Closer to 90. So make sure that terminal side is closer to 90. And one more thing, what's it missing? My rotational arrow, right? I always started on the x-axis. If it's positive, I go counterclockwise to the terminal side. If it's negative, I go clockwise to the terminal side. All righty? So that in a nutshell was what we did yesterday. I picked an easy angle. You know, if it's something like 480, what's it better off that you do before you graph it? Keep subtracting 360 till I get an angle that's between 0 and 360. Yes. All right. What if it's negative 500? What should I be doing? Keep adding 360 till it's a number I'm familiar with. Questions from yesterday? Let me challenge you. Same diagram. See this angle I'm highlighting in yellow? Do you think you could tell me how many degrees it is? After we just graphed a 120 degree angle? You think you could figure out what that angle measure is? What's up, Aaron?
You do 180 minus 120.
So this would be? 60 degrees. Yep. That's what we're doing today. All right, but I got a name for that angle. Okay, that's what we're doing today. Graph an angle and then find kind of the rest of it. All right, you ready to roll? I want to get through this so you guys have time to start and complete your delta math here at the end of today. Here's our topic today, reference angles. All right, reference angles. I'm not going to go through this crazy looking diagram. We are going to jump right into the fire with the first problem. So all I need you guys to do to me is draw your own XY axes for me and graph 160 degrees. Okay, graph 160 degrees, and I'll talk about all this new stuff here after you graph 160 for me. So draw your own XY axes quick. All right, what quadrant are you drawing this in? 160. 5? Second, closer to 90 or 180? 180, good job. And again, rotational arrow always starts on the initial side, going in whatever direction we need, in this case, in the positive direction. So no issues graphing that. Okay, next up, let's talk about some new stuff that's up here. Don't get complicated. That's a Greek letter. Remember our Greek letter from sequences in series, sigma? This is a Greek letter called beta. All it means is it's a variable. Could I put x equals 160? Sure. All right, it's a Greek symbol, means beta. That's all it means. Don't let it freak you out. It just means some angle equals 160. That's what it means. Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to define what's called a reference angle. Let me go back up to the top where the definition is. Here's what a reference angle is. It's got to be positive. Let's go back to your geometry days. What's acute mean? If the angle's acute, less than 90, right? So that means anytime you're asked to find a reference angle, it better be positive and it better be less than 90. Okay? How is it formed? Go back to your 160 degree angle for me. A reference angle is formed by taking the terminal side, always taking the terminal side and the x-axis. Now, let's take a look at this. If it's going to be the terminal side and the x-axis, would it make sense for me to go to the right side here? What are reference angles? Positive and? If I do this, is that going to be an acute angle I just formed? No. So it's got to go in the other direction. So here, for this angle of 160, here's your reference angle right there. Terminal side and x-axis, so the angle's less than 90. This is why I did this problem a couple minutes ago. Can you find that angle now? What's that angle measure? What's that angle measure right there now? You just graphed an angle that was 160, and you know from yesterday's work, this is 180 degrees out here. How can I find that angle measure now? The reference angle. The reference angle. Thoughts on how you want to take it?
Do 180 by 160.
So here you go. Beta, which is my angle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little subscript r. Guess what that r means? Reference angle. Thanks, Tom. Reference angle equals 180 minus 160, 20 degrees. Is it positive? Is it acute? Okay. It's got to be positive and acute. So that's what a reference angle is, formed by the terminal side and the x-axis. So it gives me an angle less than 90. All right, let's jump to a different quadrant. Go ahead and graph 300 next. Go ahead and graph 300 degrees. While you're doing that, what quadrant are you going to put this in? 9, what quadrant are you going to put 300 in? 9?
Oh, wait, sorry. 4.
4? Is it going to be closer to 270 or 360?
270.
Good job. Rotational arrow starts on the initial side, and since it's positive, let's make it go in the clockwise direction to the terminal side. Okay, first thing, where is the reference angle? Forget about how many degrees it is. Where is it on my diagram? Terminal side, so I'm going to highlight the terminal side, and the x-axis. So where do I want to go here, to the right or to the left, to make an angle less than 90? Where would I go to make an angle less than 90 from here now? To the right. So does everyone see the reference angle right here? I've made in yellow. How many degrees? And it's always positive. How many degrees in that reference angle? Think about the work you just did. This angle was 300. I go all the way around. We know it's 360. How can I use those two numbers to find here to here? Because here's you don't have to draw this, but I'm just showing you. Here's your reference angle right there. How many degrees in that angle? What do you think, Dylan?
Or you just subtract 300 from 360.
Yep. So my reference angle is going to be,
60.
that's a 60-degree angle right there. We just formed in yellow. 360 minus 300. Anything you want to ask yet? We'll go to a different quadrant now. We've done quadrant 2, quadrant 4. Now let's go to 210. All right, where are we looking for 210? 3?
Could be in the third quadrant.
Third quadrant, yep. Closer to 180 or 270?
180.
Yep. And my arrow, again, starts on the initial side, counterclockwise to the terminal side. All right, can you see the reference angle on this diagram? Before I find it, can we see it? Remember, always highlight the terminal side. Where should I go here now? To the left or to the right to make an angle less than 90? Here you go. There is your, from here to here. Here's your reference angle from there to there. Help me find it. Ooh, help me find that one. Remember, the original angle we graphed was 210. We know that's 180 over there.
So is it always going to be the terminal side that gives you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, always the terminal side. How can I find that angle measure? Thoughts here? Anybody want to take this one? Go ahead, Dylan.
I did 210 minus 80 or 180.
Yep, 210, the full angle, minus 180 gives us that piece that's left over there. Yep. So that reference angle will be 30.
Yeah.
Questions? Are you saying, hey, whoa. I don't know if you probably haven't noticed, but anytime I find the reference angle, I'm either using 180 or I'm using 360. Yep, just leave it there. That's fine. All right, everyone see that? I'm always using 180 or 360 in my calculations because where's 180? What axis? See you later.
Yeah.
X-axis. Where's 360? Oh, X-axis. Remember that it's always on the X-axis. You should never be using 90 or 270 in your calculations for reference angles because those are on the what axis? Y. It's always reference angles always on the X. All right, and then one more. We haven't been to this quadrant yet. Watch this surprising fact. Okay, where's 78? 7, where's 78?
On quadrant 1.
Closer to 90 or 0?
Closer to 90.
Yep. Here's your arrow. Ready for this one, kids? Ready for the reference angle? Terminal side. And
12. Oops.
we don't use the y-axis, right? Hey, that's not y. That's not the reference angle. What did I just highlight? The y-axis. It's got to be the x-axis. Terminal side in the x. So where do I go from here, right or left, to make an angle less than 90?
Right.
Yeah. So anybody want to tell me if an angle's in the first quadrant, what's its reference angle? The same. All right. If an angle's in the first quadrant, so is the reference angle. It's its own reference angle in the first quadrant. Never use the y-axis. Anything you want to ask? Because we've hit all the quadrants up. Now all I got to do is, what if it's bigger than 360, negative? All right. Anything we want to ask? Always use 360 and 180 in your calculations, never 90 and 1 or 270. All right, let's go hardcore. Negative 110. I hate to break it to you, but we don't deal with negative angles in this class. That's tough for me to graph. It's tough for you to graph, maybe. What do we want to do? Make it positive. How? Yesterday, how do we make any negative angle positive? So that's the first thing I want you guys to do is to add 360. And that'll be the same as what angle? 250. That's the angle I want you to graph right now. 250. Make it positive first. 250. What quadrant are we working in? 4. What quadrant? 3. Closer to 180 or 270? 270. Good. Watch yourself, though. Whoa. Great diagram so far. I'm graphing negative 110 here. I just did 250 because it makes my life easier on where to do it. So make sure you go counter or clockwise.
Clockwise.
Remember, when it's negative, I go clockwise to the terminal side. All right, reference angle. Ready? Reference angle. Terminal side and son of a gun. There we go. Terminal side and x-axis. Use 250. Don't go back to the net, because if you guys go back to the negative 110, life's going to be pretty troublesome here. All right, it's going to be pretty crappy. Go back to the 250. All right, we know that's 250. We know that's 180. What can I do with the 250 and the 180 to find that reference angle? I can subtract them. So use the 250. So it's going to be 250 minus that 180. And that reference angle, 70? 70 degrees. And plus, remember, reference angles can't be negative. They always got to be positive. Any issues? This next one should be quick. Before I do anything, what do you want me to do? I'm not a big fan of negative 280. What can I do to make my life easier too? Add 360 to it. Yep. Oh, that makes my life a lot easier, right? Because that's going to be 80 degrees. So let's graph 80 degrees. Where's 80? What quad? 1. Closer to 90 or 270? Yeah. 90 or 0. 90. And what did we already say? Well, first, I did this last period. I don't want to do it again. Where do I draw my arrow? Yes, because remember, you were originally asked to do a negative 280. So make sure it goes there. And then reference angle should be easy. What did we already figure out before? If it's in the first quadrant, it's its own reference angle. So the reference angle, 80 degrees. Not negative 280. We know it can't be negative. Anything. 605. Too big for me. Too big for me. Make it smaller. How, Jared? How did we make it smaller yesterday? One more time. Subtract 360. Go ahead. What do you got?
$245.
I can deal with 245. Not going to deal with 605, but I'll deal with 245. Absolutely. Where's 245? 10. Where's 245?
245's in the third quadrant.
Third. Ooh, be careful here. Closer to, you're right, closer to 180 or 270?
270.
No, you're right. You're right. It's closer to, it's 35 away from 270, but 25 away from there and 35 away from 180. So yeah, there it is. Hey, can you guys help me here? Okay, start on the initial side. 605. It was positive. So which direction should I go? Counterclockwise. So ready? But should I stop there? No, that's not 605. Keep ready. Where am I right here? Look at where I am on mine. That's what right now? 360. Now I got to go that extra 245 and end it right there. Can you see I know I got a lot of drawings up here, but can you see the reference angle? Still here and x-axis right here. And still use 245. Don't use the 605. Use the 245. So that'll be what? How do I figure out that reference angle? If I know that angle's, the smaller one's 245. 245 minus 180. Yep. And again, you got to get an angle that's less than 90. Got it. 20, 65. All right, one more. Negative 410, not dealing with that. What do you want me to do? Add 360. I still got a problem though, right? I get negative 50. Probably could handle that, but I'm not going. I want angles between 0 and 360. So don't stop here. Keep doing what? Keep adding 360. Now we're going to deal with what instead? 310. 10 degrees. That's the angle I want to graph. Remember, these are all called coterminal angles. All these degrees, coterminal. From yesterday, coterminal. What quad am I in? 310? Let's hear 3. What quad am I in?
4.
Closer to 270 or 360?
270.
Yeah, good call. We haven't had a halfway one yet, have we? It's halfway. All right, here's where I'm going to start my rotation arrow. Where should it go? Clockwise or counterclockwise?
Counter.
Clockwise.
Negative 410.
Clockwise.
Clockwise, ready? Should I end it here?
No.
Nope, got to go all the way around for 360, then an extra 15 degrees. 50 degrees. And then here you go. Got to find that reference angle right here. Use 310 when you calculate it. Use 310. Do never use 270 or 90 though. Never 270 or 90. How are we finding this one? What are we doing with 310?
Subtract.
360 minus 310 should be 50 degree angle, your reference angle. All good. Reference angles. Better be positive and better be less than 90. All right, last thing. I mentioned this yesterday because I guess I blew my mind that we were going to talk about it today. If an angle falls on the line, it's not in a quadrant, right? It's not in a quadrant. It's called a quadrantal angle if it falls on the line. So here's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to have 8 of you give me an example of a quadrantal angle. Do whatever you want. Can be less than 0, bigger than 360. But here's the thing. 2 of you out of the 8 that are going to give me them, 2 of them have to be negative out of the 8. So if that's you want to take that role, that's fine. 8 different people. Give me 8 different quadrantal angles here. All right, we ready? Just going to blast them off here. Boom, 10. Let's roll.
Negative 270.
Whoa, kid went negative already. Showing off. Good. 3.
90.
That's it. 90. Cut that off. 13.
180.
Buck 80. 4.
360.
Oh, 360. 10. Did I already have 10?
Yeah.
Good. Let me know if you already went. 13. Already had 13. 9.
720.
Whoa, big dog in the house. Going above 360. Yep, that's 2 360s if anybody's wondering. Show off. 2.
630.
Whoa, boy. 630. I might even. Is that even a good one? Yeah, I think so. I believe you. 8.
270.
Got it. I need a negative one now. Need a negative one for the last one because I only have one that's negative. 6 already went. No. 6.
Negative 990.
This guy. Negative 990. I'm even going to check that. And he's got me there. Questions? All right, let's go. Roll the delta math. You should get that bad boy done. If you needed to do any calculations, they're on the next page. So you know what your quick quiz is going to be. Graph an angle, find its reference angle. Okay, bless you. Graph an angle, find its reference angle.